Raeann Drew.
Raeann.
So I was kind of torn between two stories of the stories of being trapped in Western Pennsylvania with my parents recently, or sort of like an epilogue of a story that I told at a StorySlam last year at the Kimmel Center. So I think I'm going to tell the epilogue because it has to do with my best friend. And I just realized that it's really weird that my best friend and her boyfriend are celebrating their 2-year anniversary. So to celebrate, they brought my other best friend and came to see me. Like, I don't know how I fit into that equation. But anyway, so me and my best friend, we went on a road trip. Maybe some of you sort of remember a story that I told about that. But on our road trip, we took my friend's Jetta, and she doesn't have a CD player, she has a cassette player. So instead of being like one of those brainstorming people that get one of those like cassette things that plug in and you can plug like an iPod or something in, we just thought it would be an awesome idea to go to the thrift store and get a collection of 85 cassette tapes. So we had, I think, 3 shoeboxes full of cassette tapes, and we were traveling to California and back. And we said, you know what, we have a rule. You cannot take a tape out unless you've listened to side A and side B continuously. So there was some pretty goddamn awful music in that collection, as you may imagine. I think the worst well, not the worst, but second running up in the worst may have been Public Enemy on their way out of Chicago. That was pretty awful. But we're mid-trip, we're on our way to South Dakota, and I'm fishing through the tapes, like whoever's in the passenger side gets to play DJ, and I'm fishing through the tapes, and I pick out this tape, and it's Amy Grant. Does anybody know Amy Grant? When I picked this up at the Philly Acer, I thought this was going to be like folksy, like hot chick singer, and I was mistaken. I put it in, and there's like some religious singing, and we're on our way to the Badlands National Park. And she says something about repent or you'll go to the Badlands. And we're like, we're driving. And my friend's like, holy fuck, did she just say Badlands? I was like, I don't know. And I rewound it, and we like stared at each other, and we were like, whoa. So we like got past that song, and we were listening to it, and then I was like, dude, I can't fucking take this. I have to take it out. And she's like, are you serious? I was like, I can't fucking take this music. I was like, we've listened to everything. I'm sure nothing bad will happen if we take the one tape out. And she's like, okay. So we take the tape out. We get to the Badlands, and the story that I told the other StorySlam was about the fucking wicked-ass storm that we got caught in there. In just a tent, we were high as shit. In the Badlands, the storm was whipping around us. My friend was crying because she hates storms. We got stuck in the mud, and we woke up in front of the bathroom in our car, caked in mud. And by any means, like physically, it wasn't the perfect storm. But being on a road trip with your best friend, what's more fucking perfect than that? So we survived, and my friend, as soon as we got to the Badlands, her trunk broke. All of her shit was in the back of her trunk. So she spent 2 hours, I thought she was gonna die. Like, all I could see is her legs dangling out of the back of the car, and she's trying to get our food from like the front of the trunk to the front of the car. And so she gets our stuff, and we survive the storm. And as soon as we cross the South Dakota border into Wyoming, the trunk pops open. And we're like, that's fucking weird. So fast forward to a year. I have this amazing job at an entertainment company, and I'm in my cubicle, still don't have an iPod that I could potentially plug in anywhere, listening to a CD player, and I'm broke as hell, and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a new CD today. And I was like, no, that's $14. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going. So I go to the record store in Old City, and I pick out a CD, and I go to check out, and there's an Amy Grant record. Like, honestly, like it must have been something somebody had just donated. Like, it was just sitting there, and I was like, I caught it in my eye, and I was like, I should buy that for Laura. That's an extra $2. I just got the CD. I'm not doing that. So I go back to my cubicle, and I text her, and I'm like, we kept a log of our trip and where we were, and I was like, dude, where were we on this day? And she texted me back, the Badlands. And on that day, she was at a casino in Pittsburgh, of all places, and her trunk wouldn't open on that day. So we have a curse. And I feel that we have to go back to South Dakota and listen to the tape the whole way through. No curse to be lifted. We have unfinished business.